Hello there, welcome to Treasures and Trinkets by Lindsay Creates Gifts. Today we are going to be making a tiger tail bracelet. It's very simple, it's very quick, and I will probably skip past so you're not watching me just bead string, which is basically what this is. The more difficult bits are perhaps starting and finishing the bracelet. Maybe getting the length you want. If you're doing a bracelet like this, it's very easy if you're just using the same bead throughout. So if you just want to make a bracelet with all of your 8mm rose quartz and a spacer in between, that would be very easy to measure. This is a little bit more guesswork, because what I've done here is I've popped it in a line and I've had my tape measure up, and that's given me a rough idea, very rough, of how long my bracelet will be, but it's a generally a good idea, because as you can see, or maybe not see because it's quite up there, but up there there's no spacer beads, which I'm going to be using, but there is little spacers, so it's a very good way to estimate how much I need. So let's begin. You will need tiger tail, this tiger tail wire. It's a steel woven wire with a plastic coating, is my understanding. And you will need, well, I'm using these 4mm rose quartz, these 6mm rose quartz, 8mm rose quartz, 4mm bicone, 10mm dyed agate bead. Toggle and clasp. This one was from the December Bargain Bead Box. These were mostly from the January Bargain Bead Box. The 4mm are on my own. The seed beads that I'm using as spacer beads on my own. The bead caps I will be using are from my own stash, as are the crimp covers and the crimps. The crimp covers I will do very last, because not everybody has them, not everybody uses them, so you can just completely skip over that bit if you don't want to know how to put crimp covers on. So let's begin. I'm going to measure out my tiger tail wire. You will need the length that you want for your bracelet, plus a little bit extra for some working room. Okay, so get your wire, hold it to your tape measure, and just make sure you have that 7 inches for the bracelet, plus not much working room, a little working room. Let's go with 11 inches, so you have 4 inches of working room. And we'll just cut that off right there. Okay, now we're going to start with a crimp bead. So pick up a crimp bead like so, pick up one end of your toggle, it doesn't matter which end at this point, loop it back around onto itself. This is what we need the playroom for, so we're going like that, put it through there. It's quite springy, so you might need to hold it and then pull this long end to bring your loop down like so. We don't want it too small, but we don't want it too big either. We just want it like there with enough playroom so that it's not stiff and horrible. And also make sure you have a little bit of tail, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a moment. Now get your pliers, and really, unless you have crimp bead squashers, crimpers, use those, but I don't. Shocking, I know. So I'm just going to squish the bead down like that. And to make sure that we hide this, we're going to tuck that into other beads. So I'm going to start stringing a few. I'm going to pop on my seed spacer. I start with a spacer, I always have. I like to start not with a feature bead. So down here, if you see, we've got our little bit of tail hanging out. So we're going to pop it through those beads like that and hide it, and then it's gone, and it's still very secure. Now I've already, like I said, lined up my design, so I know how many beads I need, and it's 6 for this side and 6 for the other side. So I'm going to, that's 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and our spacer bead, and we're going on to the 6mm. It's such an easy, lovely. This is one of my unwinding things that I like to do. If I don't want to put too much thought and too much planning into a design, I will work with tiger tail or elastic, you know, simple stringing things, because sometimes the simple stringing things are the best. That one, that one, and now our 8mm spacer bead. These are obviously seed beads that I'm using as spacer beads. I think I did mention that. But the 4mm bicone, that's a lovely sparkle. I love adding sparkle to things, and these bicones really do. Spacer bead, the gorgeous and intricate pink agate spacer bead. This is going so quickly, isn't it? Lovely. Like I said, some of my favourite things to do. It's just a nice simple bit of stringing sometimes. Something that was a random hair stuck to my fingers. Don't know where that came from. Yes. Oh no! See, they're that simple that you can get carried away in what you're doing. I wanted to add bead caps. So before we go too far, let's just go back and add those bead caps. Luckily it wasn't so far that it became a pain to put those bead caps on. And I really did want them on because it just finishes them off so nicely. I'll show you when it's all together. It's a little bit baggy right now. But if we pop those on. And we're halfway done, look at that. Look how quick that was. We are halfway done, and it just finishes off the beads so nicely when you put some bead caps on there. It's a really lovely finish. And let's continue, let's add the last of our beads on. The 8mm. Oh, I couldn't grab it. Oh dear me. 8mm seed bead, 6mm seed bead, 6mm seed bead, 6mm, and finally our last 4mm seed bead. Sorry, 4mm. That wasn't just the one bead, there's a few of them. I want you guys to let me know what you'd like to see me make as well. Perhaps you've seen my products and there's something in particular that you want to see how it's made, you want to make one yourself, or even just have a go at general jewelry making, but you wish you knew how to use something maybe that I use. Like, gosh, I wish I knew how to use Kumihimo board. I wish I knew the best, well, not even the best, I'm not like the best, I'm not even close to the best, but if, you know, so there's certain techniques and tricks that I'd like to share, things that I can anyway. And there we are, there's our bracelet. It's all strung together, look at that. Look how pretty that is, and look how quick that was. Amazing. Lovely. So now finishing it off, which is probably the most difficult part I find about tiger tail. Now we're going to do the same as we did before. We're going to pick up our crimp bead. We're going to pick up the other end of our toggle, whichever end we didn't use last time. And here we go. So we have it pulled nice and tight. There's no spare wire. Pull it nice and tight. Push that crimp bead up a little so you have it separate, because you want that crimp bead. Make your loop, go through the crimp bead, and then go through the next two, so that seed bead or spacer bead and that rose quartz bead. Just push my way in there, there we go, and then come out there like that. Okay, make sure that's nice and tight, so you pull the other side of the loop that's in the bracelet, so that's tight, and then pull that side, see, like that, and that's a perfect little loop like that. Okay, and now we'll come in and squish again. If you have crimpers, use your crimpers. I don't know why I don't have crimpers. I should probably have crimpers. But if not, the pliers work just fine. That's probably why I don't, because pliers work just as well. Squish that down. And you come in and be very careful when you come in and cut this tail off, because you can undo all of your hard work by snipping the main wire. So come in there, see, and snip off the spare wire. There we go. And if you're not using crimp beads, you are done. That's your bracelet. How gorgeous is that? Simple, quick, easy, gorgeous. Can't get any better. Now, for those adding crimp covers, let's do it. Grab your cover. They look like this, and they can be a bit of a pain, so go careful. And we're going to pop that around our crimp like so. I don't know if I left enough room for this. We're going to do it anyway for your guys' sake, as I said I would. So we're going to get it like that. We're going to cover the seed bead, and we're going to come in little bits at a time. So you do the one half first, so I'm going to push in the bottom half a bit first, and then I'm going to come round and push the top half a bit, twist, bottom half, twist, top half, and you see how that's married together like that, and that just gives a nice finish to your crimp beads. One more time for the other side. Excuse me. Pop this on. See, this is what I mean about these bits, the finishing bits being the most complicated, or can be the most complicated. Some people might put these on with absolute ease, I don't know, but I always find them a bit of a pain. So there we are. Crimp is in there like that. One side at a time. Squish the top, squish the bottom, squish the top, and then squish together to marry the pieces. And that is really the hardest part, is marrying them up. I've lost my other bins. Oh no. I've lost my other pliers, which have a thinner nose at the top. It's not good. There we go. That's the angle I need. There we are. Lovely. See? And we are officially done. Stick that on like so. And there we are. Our beautiful rose quartz and pink agate bracelet. And that took us 10 minutes. Lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Lovely sparkle in there. Those bicones adding just the right amount of sparkle. And this seed bead's complementing the pinks as well, which is lovely. Right then, that is our bracelet. I'm glad you could join me. I hope you had fun with me. I hope I helped you create something lovely today. We have a AliExpress haul coming up if you would like to tune in for that. Obviously, well, I suppose not obviously, if you don't know, AliExpress can take a while to come in, so it is coming in drips and drabs at the moment. But we have some, and oh my gosh, it is so hard not to look at this stuff properly and use it, you guys. It's so hard, but I'm doing it for you. I'm saving up the bits for you. I don't want it to be a pointless haul, but please do join me for those, and like and subscribe for more, sometimes easy, sometimes complicated DIYs. Thank you. Night night.